The moment my wife's best friend pulled me behind the tall decorative wall, I knew something was wrong. The wedding anniversary party was supposed to be simple: good food, old friends, music, and a few speeches. Instead, I found myself standing in the narrow blind spot between two security cameras while Emma, my wife's best friend, stared directly into my eyes. "I've been waiting for this," she whispered. I froze. Waiting for what? Emma glanced toward the ballroom before stepping closer. "For you to finally be alone with me." My stomach tightened. For years, Emma had been part of our lives. She came to birthdays, vacations, family dinners, and even helped my wife, Sarah, choose her wedding dress. She had always been warm toward me, sometimes almost too warm, but I had never imagined anything serious behind it. "Emma, whatever this is, you need to stop." She gave a nervous smile. "You still don't understand." She reached into her purse and pulled out a small envelope. "Open it." I hesitated. Inside was a photograph. My hands went cold. It showed Sarah standing outside a hotel 6 months earlier, speaking to a man I didn't recognize. "What is this?" I asked. Emma's expression changed. "Sarah told me you knew." "Knew what?" "That she was planning to leave you." The music from the ballroom suddenly seemed very far away. I stared at the photograph again. "Why would you show me this?" "Because I couldn't keep watching you get hurt." I looked at her suspiciously. "And why bring me into a camera blind spot?" Emma swallowed. "Because Sarah doesn't know I found the rest." She pulled out her phone and opened a folder filled with photographs, messages, and financial documents. My heart pounded harder with every swipe. There were records showing large withdrawals from our joint account. There were messages between Sarah and the mysterious man. And then I saw something that made everything click. The man wasn't Sarah's lover. He was a private investigator. "What is she investigating?" I whispered. Emma looked at me sadly. "You." My blood ran cold. "Why?" "Because Sarah thinks you're hiding money from her." I laughed bitterly. "That's insane." "I know." Emma showed me one final message. Sarah had written, "Once I get proof, he'll lose everything." I couldn't breathe. Then Emma whispered, "There's more." She turned the phone toward me. A bank transfer showed thousands of dollars moving from our account into a company registered under another name. My name wasn't on it. Sarah's was. Suddenly, the anniversary party wasn't an anniversary celebration. It was a trap. I looked at Emma. "Why are you helping me?" She stared at the floor for several seconds. "Because years ago, I made a mistake." "What mistake?" "I knew Sarah was planning something against you." I stayed quiet because she was my best friend. Her eyes filled with tears. "And every day since then, I've regretted it." Before I could respond, footsteps approached from the other side of the wall. Emma grabbed my arm. "Someone's coming." We stood silently as Sarah's voice echoed nearby. "Have you seen my husband?" Emma released my arm immediately. I stepped out from the blind spot. Sarah turned toward me with a smile. "There you are." I looked at her differently now. Not with anger. Not yet. Just certainty. "Sarah," I said calmly, "we need to talk." Her smile disappeared. Emma remained behind me. And for the first time that night, Sarah looked afraid. Because she realized the trap she had prepared for me had just become a trap for her. Sarah stared at me, her expression frozen between surprise and fear. "What do you mean, we need to talk?" she asked. I kept my voice calm. "About the money. About the investigator. And about the man you've been meeting." For a second, nobody moved. Then Sarah looked past me toward Emma. "You told him?" Emma stepped forward. He deserved to know. Sarah's face hardened. You have no idea what you've done. No, I replied. I think I finally do. Sarah suddenly laughed, but there was nothing warm about it. You really think Emma is protecting you? I glanced at Emma. Sarah continued, ask her why she brought you into the camera blind spot. The words hit me harder than expected. I turned toward Emma. She looked away. Emma? She took a slow breath. Sarah is right about one thing. My chest tightened. I didn't bring you there only to show you the evidence. Then why? Emma looked directly at me. Because I needed to tell you something before Sarah did. Sarah interrupted sharply. Don't. Emma ignored her. I was the one who originally gave Sarah the idea to investigate you. Silence. I felt as if the floor had shifted beneath my feet. You? Emma nodded, tears gathering in her eyes. Months ago, Sarah told me she believed you were hiding something. I helped her hire the investigator because I thought I was protecting my friend. Sarah folded her arms. And she eventually discovered she was wrong. I looked at Sarah. Then why were you moving money? Sarah's expression changed. Because I was trying to protect you. She pulled her phone from her purse and opened a document. The company listed on the transfers was mine. But I had never created it. Sarah explained that someone had been using my identity to move money through an offshore account. The investigator had initially suspected me, but after weeks of digging, he discovered the real culprit. My former business partner. The same man I had trusted years earlier. The same man who had suddenly disappeared after our company collapsed. I stared at the documents. Why didn't you tell me? Because every time I tried, someone warned me not to trust anyone around me. She looked at Emma. Even her. Emma lowered her head. Then Sarah's phone rang. She answered. Hello? Her face went pale. What? She listened silently. Then she whispered, he's here. Sarah ended the call and looked at me. The man who stole your identity just entered the building. My heart stopped. Across the ballroom, the doors opened. A man in a dark suit walked inside. I recognized him immediately. My former partner. He smiled when he saw me. Then he raised his glass. And suddenly, I understood. The anniversary party had never been a celebration. It had been the perfect place to bring everyone together. Including the man who had been hiding in the shadows. Sarah grabbed my hand. Don't confront him. But it was already too late. He started walking toward us. And Emma whispered the words that changed everything, he knows we found out. The lights suddenly went out. The ballroom fell into darkness, the ballroom went completely dark. For 3 seconds, nobody moved. Then someone screamed. Chairs scraped across the floor. Glass shattered. Guests began whispering nervously as emergency lights flickered along the walls. Stay close, Sarah whispered. I felt her hand gripping mine. Emma was somewhere behind us. Then came a sharp metallic sound. A door slammed. Where is he? I whispered. Sarah pulled me toward the wall. Don't move. But I couldn't. I stepped forward just as the emergency lights came back on. My former business partner was gone. So was Emma. Emma? Sarah called. No answer. I immediately ran toward the corridor. Sarah followed. We found Emma near the service elevator, pressed against the wall. Her face was pale. He came after me, she whispered. Where did he go? She pointed toward the elevator. He took the documents. My stomach dropped. The evidence? Emma nodded. He grabbed my phone too. Sarah immediately called security. But before anyone arrived, the elevator doors opened. There was nobody inside. Only a small envelope lying on the floor. I picked it up. My name was written across the front. Inside was a single photograph. It showed me standing outside my old office years earlier. On the back, someone had written, "You should have stayed out of my business." Sarah looked at the photograph. "This isn't just about the money anymore." "I know." Emma stepped closer. "There is something else you need to see." She pulled a tiny memory card from inside her necklace. "I made a backup before he took my phone." Sarah stared at her. "You planned for this?" Emma nodded. "I didn't trust him." We hurried into a private room and inserted the card into a laptop. A video appeared. The footage showed my former partner meeting with someone. I leaned toward the screen. Then my blood ran cold. The person sitting across from him was someone I knew. Someone I had trusted for years. My accountant. Sarah covered her mouth. "No," the video continued. My accountant handed him a folder. Inside were copies of my identity documents, bank information, and company records. Then he said something that made my entire body go numb. "Once the transfer is complete, they'll blame the husband. His wife will file for divorce, and he'll lose everything." I looked at Sarah. She looked back at me. Neither of us spoke. The plan had been designed to destroy my marriage, my reputation, and my finances at the same time. And Emma suddenly whispered, "There is one more file." She opened another video. This one was recorded only 2 days earlier. My former partner was speaking directly to the camera. "If you're watching this, you've already discovered the truth." He paused. "But you're still missing one person." The video ended. Silence filled the room. Sarah slowly turned toward Emma. "Who?" Emma's eyes filled with tears. "I don't know." Suddenly, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered. A distorted voice spoke. "You have 10 minutes. 10 minutes for what?" "To decide which person you trust." The call ended. A message immediately appeared. It contained a photograph. Sarah and Emma were standing together outside a cafe 3 months earlier. Underneath it were 5 words, "One of them is lying." I looked at both women. Sarah looked terrified. Emma looked devastated. And for the first time that night, I realized the most dangerous person in the room might not be the man who had tried to destroy me. It might be someone standing beside me. Then the door behind us slowly opened. My accountant stepped inside. He smiled. "I think we need to talk." My accountant stood in the doorway with the same calm smile I had trusted for nearly a decade. "Don't come any closer," I warned. He raised both hands. "Relax. If I wanted to hurt you, you wouldn't have gotten this far." Sarah stepped in front of me. "You betrayed us." His smile disappeared. "I did what I was paid to do." "By whom?" I demanded. He looked at Emma. That single glance answered more than words could. Emma suddenly stepped backward. "No," she whispered. I stared at her. "You knew?" She shook her head violently. "Not everything." My accountant closed the door behind him. Emma knew enough. Sarah turned toward her best friend. "What does he mean?" Emma's eyes filled with tears. "I found out 3 months ago that Sarah's investigation wasn't the only thing happening. Someone was watching all of us." "Who?" I asked. Emma swallowed. "Your former partner." The accountant laughed softly. "You're still thinking too small." He pulled a flash drive from his pocket. "This contains the real records." I didn't move. "What records?" The transfers. The shell companies. The fake contracts. Everything. Then why bring it here? Because your former partner wants something in return. Before I could answer, the lights flickered. My phone buzzed. A message appeared, bring the drive to the rooftop. Come alone. Sarah read it over my shoulder. No, I have to go. You don't know what he'll do. I looked at her. For the first time tonight, I think I know exactly what he's capable of. Emma grabbed my sleeve. I'm coming with you. No, she looked at me sadly. I caused this. Let me help finish it. We reached the rooftop together. The city stretched beneath us, glowing with thousands of lights. My former partner stood near the edge. He held up his hands. Finally. I stepped forward. Give me the truth. He smiled. You've always been impatient. Then he pointed behind me. I turned. Sarah was standing there. My former partner laughed. You still don't understand. This was never about stealing your money. He looked at Sarah. It was about making you distrust each other. Sarah's face went pale. He explained everything. The fake transfers. The investigator. The staged evidence. Even the mysterious messages. His goal had been to destroy my marriage because years earlier, I had exposed his financial fraud and caused him to lose everything. But there was one thing he hadn't expected. Emma had secretly recorded their meetings. She pulled out another phone. You're finished. His smile vanished. The police sirens suddenly echoed below. My accountant had already confessed everything and agreed to cooperate. My former partner looked around desperately. Then he laughed. You think this ends here? He dropped the flash drive. It landed at my feet. This proves everything. Security officers rushed onto the rooftop. For the first time that night, I finally breathed. Later, when everything was over, Sarah and I sat quietly in the empty ballroom. She reached for my hand. I almost lost you because I believed the wrong people. I squeezed her fingers. And I almost lost you because I stopped a skin.